Okay, so now we're going to simplify equations that have variables on both sides. So I modeled it. We're going to use the tiles again. So I modeled the left-hand side. There's 4x plus 5. And on the right-hand side, there's 2x plus 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, and in order to solve for x, we have to have the variables on one side and the constants on the other. So I'm going to subtract 2x from this side, and whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, and now I have the 2x plus 5, so that brings it to 2x plus 5 equals 9, and I want to get my variables by themselves. Sorry, so I'm going to subtract 5 on this side. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, so 2, 4, 5. And now I have 2x equals 4, and we want to find out what x equals. So remember, we divide it into two groups, and we separate these. And our answer is x equals 2. So the next problem we're going to model is 8x plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8x plus 3 equals 7x plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 3. Okay, so the first step is to get your variables to one side. So let's get rid of the 7x over here. So we're going to subtract 7x from this side. And that means we need to subtract 7x from the other side. And we have x plus 3 equals 3. So now we want to get x by itself. So we're going to subtract 3 from this side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So now we're going to have x equals 0. Okay, so this one I'm going to model by drawing my tiles because you don't have any tiles at home right now. So, and I'm going to ask you to model. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to put 5 x's. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are my 2's. Understood, they're all positive. And then I'm going to put my x here. And I have 10 little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I want to get my variables on one side, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to subtract 1 there, so subtract 1 there. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4x plus 2 equals 10. So we're going to subtract 2. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4x, let me write it down so we can see it, equals 2, 4, 6, 8. And then we're going to break this down into 4 groups, right? So here's our 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take these 2 and put it with this one. I'm going to take these and put it with this one. Take these and put it with this one. Take these and put it with this one. So every single x equals 2, so the answer is x equals 2. Okay, so now we're going to solve it without the tiles. So remember, we want to get our x's on the same side of the equation. So I can either move this 7 or this negative 2. I'm going to move the negative 2. It doesn't matter which one I move, but I don't like to deal with negative variables if I can help it. So I'm going to add 2. I almost made a mistake, huh? I'm going to add 2x on this side, so whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I have 9x plus 19. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. So I want to get the x by itself. Let me do that on a separate sheet of paper. We get 36. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. 9 times 4 is 36. Now I'm going to check it. So wherever I see x, I'm going to substitute in 4. Okay, so 7 times 4 is 28. And remember, one side has to equal the other in order for this answer to be correct. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus 55. So I'm going to do the math on the left-hand side first. And I get 47 on this side. And then on the other side, I get 47. So that balances. That's how I know that's correct. All right, the next problem is 80 minus 9y equals 6y. Okay. Okay, in this one, I can either move the 6y or the 9y, negative 9y. And like I said earlier, I don't like to deal with those negative signs because I don't want to forget, that I have a negative sign there and the variable's negative. So I can either move the 9 or the 6, and I'm going to move this 9. So I'm going to say plus 9y. And then I get 80, and that cancels, equals 9 and 6 is 15y. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 15. And then y equals, and let me simplify that, 16 over 3. Okay, let's check it and see if it works. So we're going to say 80 minus 9 times 16 over 3 equals 6 times 16 over 3. If this doesn't balance, I got to go back and check and see if I did something wrong. So 80 minus, let's put this over there. So 16 times 9 is 144 over 3. 16 times 6 is 96 over 3. So I'm going to simplify my fractions. That's 48, and 96 divided by 3 will give me 32. Now I have one more step. 80 minus 48. So I get 32 equals 32, so my fraction has to be correct. Okay, let's do another one. The next one's going to be 4 times 1 minus x plus 3x equals negative 2 times x plus 1. I'm going to have to be very, very careful when we substitute in. Let's rewrite that real quick so that we can have it ready. X equals negative 2 times x plus 1 once we solve for x. Okay, so notice on this side of the equal sign there's quite a few things going on. And on this side too. We can't even move our variables yet or our constants because we have to do our distributive property. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times negative x is negative 4x plus 3x equals negative 2x minus 2. Now I'm going to draw my little boxes again and see if there's anything else I can do before I start moving these from one side of the equation to the other. So notice here I can subtract. So I'm going to say 4, and that's going to give me negative x equals negative 2x minus 2. Let's move that little thing out of the way. Okay. Now, I have the choice of moving this x or this one. I'm going to move this one so I have a positive x. So 4 plus x equals negative 2. Now all I need to do is solve for my variable. So I'm going to subtract this 4, and I get x equals negative 6. Now I need to check it. Okay, so I'm going to say 4 times 1 minus a negative 6, we'll talk about that in a minute, plus 3 times a negative 6 equals negative 2 times negative 6 plus 1. Okay. Last year when you had that double negative when it's sitting next to each other, this really means a negative times a negative, which gives you that positive. Okay? That's how it changed. So we have 4 times 7. And this is a positive 3 times a negative 6 is minus negative 18. And I'm going to say negative 2 times, what's negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So we're going to say 28 minus 18 equals 10. 28 minus 18 is 10, and the other side is 10. So my answer is correct. That was a long problem, but still something we can do. The next problem has a fraction in it. Let's see, 12x plus 16 equals 10 minus 3 times x minus 2. Now let's write it over here so we can check it. Okay, so on this side of the equal sign, we have distributive property. So we're going to distribute this. This is really 12 divided by 4 is 3x. And this is 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 10 minus 3x plus 6. So think about this. This is really, over here I'll show you, 1/4 times 12 over 1 gives you 12 over 4. And when you simplify that, gives you 3. And the same thing, 1/4 times 16 gives you 16 over 4, and that reduces to 4. Okay. All right, I need to combine like terms on this side. I'm going to leave this one alone, so I'll bring this one down. Negative 3x, 10 plus 6 is 16. Okay, I'm going to bring this one over to the other side. So I get 6x plus 4 equals 16. Let's subtract 4. 6x equals 12, and we're going to divide by 6. And now we're going to check it. So 1/4 times 12 times 2 plus 16 equals 10 minus 3, and that's going to be 2 minus 2. Okay? So 1/4, inside parentheses, 24 plus 16 equals 10 minus 3 times 0, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so 24 and 16 is 40. So 1/4 times 40 equals 10 minus 0. So 1/4 times 40 is the same thing as 10, right? Equals 10. So we know that answer is correct. Okay, so now we're going to do one more. So we have 4x plus 27 equals 3x. And we're going to write it over here also. Okay, so if I subtract this 3x, and I am going to do that, remember, this is an equal sign, right? So we have to put, let's do this first. And 3x minus 3x is 0. You have to maintain that other side of the equal sign. And now we're going to solve for x by moving this over. So 4 times negative 27, plus 27 is the same thing as 3 times negative 27. Let me just make sure I substituted it in correctly. Okay, so 4 times negative 27 would give us negative 108 plus 27, and 3 times negative 27 is negative 81. Now let's do what's on the other side. So we get negative 81 equals negative 81.